Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Dave Ledick, and I am the owner of a junk removal business here in San Diego, California, Junk MD. And I just wanted to put it out there and talk to you guys about some things to think about prior to owning or starting up your own junk removal business. A lot of things, some mistakes that I went through as well that might be helpful for somebody who's thinking about getting into the business. So, a little bit about me. I opened up my junk removal business 3 years ago. I actually bought it from somebody and jumped into it and didn't think about a lot of things. And so through some trial and errors that I've gone through over the last couple of years, I thought it might be helpful, to put that stuff out there. So here's a couple things to think about. First off, prior to owning or running your business, you need to think about getting licensed, getting insured, all of that kind of stuff. So there's so much competition out there now. You have your franchise models, you have your mom and pop businesses that have been around or are currently opening, and then you have the guys that are running their business out of a pickup truck. So to separate yourself, to be a true professional, make sure that you have the proper license and insurance. Make sure you're covered. You never know what's going to happen. And these are some things you need to think about. I had one of my guys had oil on the bottom of his boot, and he tracked it through the house on a white carpet. So you can imagine if I didn't have insurance, how much that would have cost me out of pocket. I still had to pay a down payment, but you need that stuff just in case. Okay. Other thing, you need a business plan, right? A lot of people, maybe they look at this as not really a true professional business. And if you're going to look at it like that, you're never going to be successful. You need to put together a business plan. You need to have your finances in order. You need to, have projections based. You also need to, have everything structured properly. So something to think about. If you're not too familiar with business plans, do a quick Google search and they give you all the information that you need. I know there's templates out there that you can also follow as well. So another thing to think about, marketing, okay? Are you going to be, maybe you don't have a lot of money, so this is going to be something organic marketing, or you have some of the money that you're willing to invest into the marketing of your business. What is that going to be? Are you going to pay for Google AdWords? What about a website? There's Facebook advertising now, flyers, there's business networking groups. Okay, so there's all these things to think about. How are you going to separate yourself from the competition? There's coupons, there's direct mail, there's a ton of options out there, and you have to figure out, what's going to be best for you, what's going to work best for you in your area. Okay. One thing that we have had some really success with in the last few months is we joined our local chamber of commerce. We go to the meetings, we go to the classes. We're building relationships, and we want to go. We're putting a lot of our efforts into that area of our marketing. So we're trying to be present at the meetings and get to know people, let them know what our service is about, and then everybody needs ultimately. Especially, in certain areas of town, this is a service that a lot of people will use. So something to think about. There's a lot of stuff out there. You can do your research. If you have questions, you can hit me up and I can help you out as well. Other things to think about, your costs in the business. What kind of equipment are you going to have? What kind of equipment are you starting with? What do you need to have on the truck? So with our truck, what we like to make sure is we have a simple set of tools. So we have a tool bag with all your screwdrivers, Allen wrenches, hammer, screw gun. We have a sledgehammer. We have shovels, wheelbarrow, brooms, dustpan, rake. What else? Dollies. We like to have a 2-wheel dolly and 2 4-wheel dollies. And we also have some empty, the bigger size moving boxes just in case there's some stuff to pack up. So, those are, again, things to think about. The cost involved with that. Are you guys going to be uniforms? Are you going to just be showing up, with ripped jeans and ripped t-shirts and no one's wearing the same stuff? We want to present ourselves as a professional company. So we have matching shirts. our guys are wearing Dickies. We try to encourage everybody, and it should be something that's mandatory, but to wear work boots. So these are little things that you need to think about, okay? Also, familiar yourself with the costs and where and how what you can dump, how much that's going to cost you, where are those facilities. So you have a lot of options there. You have your landfills, you're going to have recycling centers that will take donations, you're going to have scrap metal places, you're going to have, figure out, and it's all different logistically and where you're at, but what can you do with old stereo equipment, old electronics. We don't pick up hazardous waste, so you have to know all of that stuff going into it. This can really be a huge difference in money going in and money coming out. Okay, so if you're just going straight to the landfill and dumping everything, your costs are going to be higher than if you're maybe trying to separate things on the job. You can dump your scrap metal, you can donate stuff. What part of our marketing and part of what we believe in is to keep as much stuff out of the landfill as possible. And that your beliefs, your goals with your business is obviously entirely up to you, but just some things to think about. So I just wanted to shoot this quick Google Hangout for you, and if you're getting started with your junk removal business, hopefully this helps. Again, if you have if you have more questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me via email. I'm also placing the link to a course that you can buy. It's got some more in-depth information. If you're taking this really seriously, you're going to take it to the next level. It doesn't never hurts to invest a little bit more into yourself. So again, hey, thanks for your time, and I hope that helped.